Good morning, traders. Welcome to this video where we take a look at our performance in June 2022. My name is Chris from Elite Currency, and let's start with all of our systems and their performance last month. So some of them had a very good month, in fact. Others were weaker, and I'll explain why we expect that to change and perform better in the third quarter of 2022. So first of all, we're going to discuss the EA that had the best results in June. Let's start off with Athena EA. It is very consistent in its results so far, and we have seen very good results again in June. In an entire second quarter, in fact, we've had positive results. This is our PAM, which is up 32% since we started, and is basically averaging about 5%, 5.33% to be very precise. And you can see that the equity curve is looking interesting and stable here. And we have a good profit factor and good win rate. Many trades, as you can see as well, with an average trade length that is about 5 hours, 5.5 hours. So quite short. As you can see, we had a pretty good June. I mean, not as great as April and May, but if you look at the entire quarter, it's more than 22%, about almost 23%, I think. So, and every month in this year has been positive. That's the PAM. My personal account is up 135%. It's been trading longer since August last year and is now approaching 1 full year with monthly about 8% and a drawdown of 14.58 and or almost 15. This drawdown is a little bit higher. I think it's from a previous account as well. EA, sorry, that wasn't traded. Here you can see that the performance last year was only positive, this year too, with a slight dip around February because of the geopolitics there. But so far, 5.2 in June, great year as well, with similar statistics overall as the PAM, as you can see, and about just a stable equity curve as well. So Athena EA is basically just as performing just as well as other months. It's a grid system, and it's the only grid system that we're trading. So I always have some slight reservations with the grid system, but Athena EA is proving my skepticism wrong, and it's so far at least, it's performing well. And of course, it's not the only EA that I'm trading. Obviously, I have a diverse portfolio, and I place a little bit of capital on this, and I place capital on other methods and systems as well to diversify that risk. But certainly Athena EA is part of my portfolio, and you can see why, I think. Other EAs that did well were the Zeus EA. The new one is up almost 17%. And it had a little bit of a whipsaw here mid-June. We changed the composition a little bit to avoid that in the future, and now it's growing again, up to a good start. Only 2 months, but last month certainly good, just as good as May with +8, and happy with this approach on the Zeus EA method. So steady as it goes here with Zeus EA new approach, not a grid system like it was in the past. And I think that I'm excited about this set of EAs. And we're going to probably see, I think, a interesting second half of 2022 as well. Now, Chris Mix is similar to Zeus EA new, but had a bit of a dip in June, but bigger one. Here too, we changed the composition of EAs to remove any grid approaches so that we only trade Athena EA grid. It's the only grid system we have. We removed that component from Zeus EA new and from Chris Mix so that we're not over relying on grid systems. So both Zeus new and Chris Mix don't have any grid from mid-June onwards. Unfortunately, Chris Mix at that moment hit a little bit of a bigger loss than Zeus new and ended up with -17. So it is a bigger loss than Zeus. Zeus stayed positive. Chris Mix went to the negative because of the grid aspect of it. But overall, the gain is still, or the loss, I should say, is still reasonable, I think, considering all in all the factors. And although we don't see it too well, we're seeing some kind of small upside here. It's slowly but surely Of course, it has to prove itself. Obviously, being a bit optimistic about their rebound, but I just want to explain that the reason why it dipped, the method that created that dip has been removed, and we are trading a new set of, or not totally new set, but without the grid system now. It is a different set than ZUCA, so there's diversification in that aspect, and I'm excited to see Chris Mix behave better in the near future. This is the EAs that we have had the best results with in 2022, so I do think that we'll see a good comeback in Q2 2022. So I'm optimistic about both ZUCA New and Chris's Mix. A portfolio EA had a loss in June and May, so that is back to back, unfortunately, but we'll have to see how this develops. It had a great start, a bit of a comeback in May and beginning June, but since then it's been in a downtrend a little bit after that, and now a bit at the lower low. The overall loss is still reasonable, I think, as long as it stays below 20-25%. So hopefully this will be the turning around spot, just like with Chris Mix. That leaves us just with the SWAT EA and options. Options had a gain of plus 1.1% from Marco Doni and is now in total close to about 17%, I think, in total. And SWAT EA had a wonderful June. It didn't have a great 2022, as you can see. It actually was down in negative territory until May. But when June came along, you can see a great month, plus 22.7, the best month, even better than May 2021. And it boosted the system results again up and made 2022 also a positive year so far, just like 2021. And overall, as you can see, it's up almost 90%. And this is the equity curve. It has more ups and downs, but overall, as you can see, pretty sturdy uptrend here as well. All right. So those are all the systems we've been trading now so far. We're working hard in the background of testing and trading more systems, more methods, finding the ideal balance between all of them. And that is still something we are learning every day and every week. So I think we'll get better. I think we'll get more experience in all of this combinations of EAs this year. And I think I'm excited about the potential for this year and next year. With all these different EAs and different portfolios that are being offered. So it's an exciting and adventurous ride. Of course, only trade with capital that you can afford to risk and lose. But I think I'm optimistic about the potential of all of these methods: Athena, portfolio, ZUCA, Chris Mix. And let's see, of course, how that goes in the next half of 2022. Wish everyone great trading, and we'll have an update again next month. Cheers. Bye-bye.